We are live.
Ready to go. I'm going to call this meeting of the East Veterans School Building Committee to order. And I will say that this meeting is recorded by video and audio in accordance with the state open meeting law, consistent with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. This meeting will be conducted by remote participation. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. And that being said, can we have a roll call for attendance?
Yeah, I will take the roll call. I just got a message from Mark. There was a technical problem with, he's on, but
yeah,
the video is not working. So for vote, Jonathan Pope.
Here.
Grant Harris.
Here.
Gary Frisch.
Here.
Ben Lummis.
Here.
Stacy Capone.
Here.
Kathy Clancy is not here. And am I forgetting anybody?
No.
That's it. Okay.
That's pretty much it. So we have a quorum and we're going to start the meeting. And the first order of business is to approve the meeting minutes of July 8th, 2024. Are there any corrections or omissions? There was an updated, Mark sent out an updated thing that had the attendance sheet on it just this morning or something. Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes as presented, and I so move.
Seconded.
Okay. You're going to do the votes, Brian?
Yep.
Okay, so roll call vote.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Grant. You're muted.
He's frozen.
Okay, I'll skip Grant for now. Gary.
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't there.
Okay. Ben.
Yes.
Stacy.
I wasn't there either. Abstain.
Okay. And do we have you back?
Yes, you do. My internet went down, so I hopped onto my phone. The answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Because I was going to have a problem there. I didn't know if we didn't have a 3 votes. I don't know what we do. So it carries 3 votes in favor and 2 abstentions.
Right.
And the next order of business is the approval of invoices, and I'll turn it over to Brian.
Yep, there's only one invoice that's up for approval. This is for owner's project management services during the closeout phase from last month for $5,000 according to our standard billing schedule. That invoice number is PJIN 0041036.
Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion that we approve the invoice as presented to Harry. Can't keep up with the names for $5,000, and I so move.
Seconded.
Okay, roll call vote.
Jonathan Pope.
Yes.
Grant Harris.
Yes.
Gary Frisch.
Yes.
Ben Lummis.
Yes.
Stacy Capone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Brian, I just joined, so I'll say yes as well.
Oh, Kathy.
Kathy's here. So I would just,
Unanimous.
and you voted yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it passes unanimously. And the next order of business is project updates. Brian, do we have any updates?
I do have some updates. There's not much left to talk about, but that's really the good news. Pretty much just about everything is wrapped up. So everything on the architect's punch list has been completed. The contractors burnt out over the summer vacation break, getting both a few large items completed as well as a number of smaller items. All the observations from the architect have also been closed out. There are 2 submittals that are just waiting on final signatures. They're things that we've been chasing down. One is sitting with Joe Lucido. That was a sign off on a change in the grade. So I've discussed that with him. He was fine with it, just a matter of getting the paperwork. And then another one is on the gypsum board approvals by the manufacturer's engineer. So that is also just waiting on the final signature. We did try to get in and get the AI phone gateway programmed in. This is a small thing. The phone is working as designed, but there was a request to add a gateway to that. Unfortunately, we're still waiting on NSG to respond to that. We do talk to them, or through WT Rich, we do talk to them regularly. They're just buried in work, and they will be getting someone out. As of today, I've been confirmed again that it is going to be within the next week or 2. So we have been on them regularly to keep up on that.
Brian, can you just remind us what the function of that is, the functionality that we're looking for?
Yeah, Grant can probably explain it better
I'll
than
explain
me.
it to you. So the system functions within inside the building, but I have no way of monitoring whether those systems go down. I need a gateway address so it knows where to send my packets back to me. It's a networking thing. It's part of the setup. They just misconfigured it out of the box. It's literally type in one IP address on all those devices and we're done. It's so I can monitor it and I know when this is a problem with one of the systems. That's all it is.
And sorry, and those building systems or IT systems or which systems?
Those are building systems, but we monitor it because we need to know if there's a problem with either the front door, the loading dock. We monitor those right now at the middle school and the high school as well. So
Great.
It's just part of our standard procedure.
Great, thank you. That's helpful.
Thanks, Grant.
Okay.
On commissioning, the work has all been completed, but we are waiting right now to get the contractors back into the BMS system to verify all the reports on there. So there's been a little bit of a struggle to get all the proper permissions to all the right parties. But we were working with City IT to get that resolved. I believe they sent out the new passwords last week to the right parties. There's just a certain process where they have to get the email, have to be able to log in within a certain time frame before it expires. So that is underway and they'll be able to get in and do the final verification. But again, the work has already been completed on that. We had some work that was done on the wireless lighting controller that was relocated. So that has been completed. We can now do the training on those units. We're just waiting on the date from Joe. It's a very short training session. So as soon as he provides the date, we'll have the contractor provide training on those. But yeah. We also had some alarms that were resolved over the summer. There was some instant alarm programming that needed to be done. That was taken care of. There was a question about a generator alarm. They had filled up the tank and overfilled it. And the alarm goes off basically at 80%. And that's to allow for expansion. So if you're filling up your fuel tank in the middle of winter when it's cold, if you filled it up to the top, by the time summer came around and the temperatures increased, you would have an overflow and a spill. So to prevent that, there's an alarm that goes off once it reaches 80%. So there was a question if they could fill that a little bit higher, but we looked into it and that should not be changed. So that is resolved. There was also, when we were out on site last week, there was an alarm that had gone off on the BDA system. So we had Comtronics come out and check it out, and that has been resolved. I'm asking WT Rich just for some additional clarification for the IT department so that they know how to reset that if it needs to be done again in the future. You also remember that there was a basketball backboard that had shattered surprisingly. So that has since been replaced. We had been tracking the hot water supply throughout the school. There was hot water in the school throughout the school year, but it was delayed in some of the areas. And we were working with the engineer and the contractor to get that resolved, because we wanted to get a quicker turnaround on the hot water line for the recirc line. So working with the engineer, we got a new pump that was installed, and that has taken care of the problem. I was out there last week, verified that the hot water recirc temperature line is consistently staying where it's supposed to, and then also checked the flow on the hot water side in a number of classrooms. And it does take a little bit of time if the building is empty when you first turn on the hot water, about a minute or so until you get hot water out. But once that's turned on, it'll be seconds, maybe 10 seconds or so until the hot water runs. So that issue has been resolved. We also.
So hallelujah, first of all. My God, that was a long time and a lot of, oh my God, anyway, so glad you guys finally figured it out, and after sticking with it. It wasn't the biggest deal, obviously, but clearly wanted to work as designed, so, but oh my goodness, that took a long time.
Yeah, we're happy that that's behind us now. There was also the music room door that had been adjusted with the hinges. So the new hinges have been installed, and that's performing as it needs to. The contractor was out there to do a force test, and it did pass the test when they were first opening the door. There was a faulty light that has since been replaced. So those are pretty much all the construction items. We also have a few items kind of on the owner's side that we've been tracking. We've been looking at getting signage for the wall photos that were there. We were working with Colleen up on that. I think over the summer holidays, a number of people were away. So she is ready to set up a meeting to show the final rendition of that. I think, Ben, I think you want to be involved in that. So as soon as she gets sign off on that, she can get those produced. We can get an invoice from her, get them installed, and get that paid.
Brian, would you use that, me and Matt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, remember that's the signage for.
No, I remember it is. That's why I just want to make sure. So you're looking to get me and Matt with Colleen in the.
Yes, she wanted to make sure that you were good with the final look of that.
Okay, so all right, I'll get going on scheduling that with Matt tomorrow. Sorry, I just got back from vacation.
Yeah.
On email. Sorry. Is there an email that's sitting for me there from Colleen or from you?
Yep, I can forward it to you.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Also, the work in the stage area, we had relocated one of the heat pumps to get better access to the filters. So that's all been completed. The additional changes to the mass notification system were installed. We conducted a test out on site last week. Unfortunately, there were a couple items with the programming that still were not the way we wanted them to work. So the systems both are operating, but one of the systems is not triggering the other system as we want it to. So we have asked NSG to come back out and take care of that. And I think I sent you an email on that, Grant, today. Did you?
I hadn't seen it yet. I've been dealing with 1,000 other fires, unfortunately, but I will look at that after this meeting.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So yeah, NSG will get out there, and as soon as they finish that, we'll conduct another test just to make sure that the school department is fully aware of how all the procedures work. Matt seemed pretty comfortable with everything when we were out there last week, but we did want to make this additional change. Let's see. The other thing is we had some owner requests for additional mics. So that has been moving along, a number of different communications back and forth with Tony. I was able to connect him and advance to answer the questions that Tony had. So Tony is now working with his desired contractor to put together a recommendation. And then I've also connected Tony and Grant because Tony was looking for someone that would have some good understanding of what systems are at the different schools so that we can have additional mics that can be transported from building to building and plugged in and perform as desired for the school. So we're waiting to hear back from Tony, but that should be forthcoming shortly.
Okay. And just as a reminder, Grant, and also to you, Brian, it's like simple is better. Okay. These are fifth grade productions. So it's like, but we want something that's workable and then also helps, but that can be, utilized and can be moved to other building if necessary.
Right.
Okay. So, but doesn't have to be anything nutty.
Yep.
We understand the assignment. We understand the target audience.
Okay.
And the lead plaque, we have a lead plaque that is installed now on the first floor. So I talked to Matt whether we wanted any additional ones. He seemed to think that that was fine. He said if we do want to put in a second one, he would suggest upstairs. But
No, it's fine.
okay, so that issue is done as well.
Kathy, Jonathan, you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's right on the wall when you come in on the right by the stair, before you go where the other plaques are. So that looks nice there.
Good.
And then the 10-month walkthrough was completed before with all the parties at BEA, NV5, W2 Rich, Doran Whittier, Joe Lucido was there. We were there. So all those items have been completed. And the only thing that was left over from that was the access to get into the BMS system that I mentioned earlier through the city's network. On the financial end, we've been working on getting all the PCOs cleaned up. So we're almost there. There's a few more that Doran Whittier are reviewing. I'm working with W2 Rich on negotiating all the final ones. We are expecting a final change order on the project, and that is expected to be a credit change order to the owner. All the submissions to the MSBA continue to happen as needed, including all the reimbursement requests. So the MSBA is not paying any more right now because they've already paid for 95%. So that's according to their policy. They will do the remaining payments after the project is fully closed out and audited. And that process will start after all the final invoices have been received and have been paid. Just some other updates. We had some requests from Cassandra Sign Company to get paid for the city. They were kind of eager, and that check has been cut in case there was any correspondence about that. And then there was also a question about the elevator service contract. So that needs to be extended on the city's end because that's going to end from the warranty period. So the city needs to take over that service contract. So that message has been sent to Joe Lucido. I understand that he would be the person that would handle that. So I don't know if anyone can confirm that. Gary, let's see him.
That sounds right. Gary.
Will you send that to me too? The elevator contract, is it more than 1 year or?
Well, so that's something that the city needs to decide on their end, what they want to set up. So we just sent them the notification that the current contract that they have is expiring, so that they can determine whether they set up a new contract, which is what I would recommend, so that if there's a problem, you already have someone that can come out and take care of it.
Is there a dollar amount? Do you know?
It just
Okay.
depends on what the city wants to do and what they want to set up.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
So, so first of all, are there any questions about any of the items that I mentioned? Because that's pretty much everything from the update.
Where do we stand, you said on, the invoices and payment and all that for closeout?
Yeah, so W2 Rich, I'm sorry, Dorn Whittier has submitted their last invoice. W2 Rich has one more invoice to submit. Before they can submit that invoice, we need to finalize all the contract changes, which we're working through with resolving the final PCOs, which will be rolled up into one final change order. That'll be a contract adjustment, and then based on that, they can send the final invoice. So, I mean, we're very close. We're kind of hoping that maybe it would be done, this week. It might be a few more days, but it just all the parties getting together, sometimes that drags out a little bit. But that's kind of where we are. We're that close on that. As far as the OPM goes, according to our standard billing schedule, we'll be sending invoices through the end of this year. So there's really not much to approve for invoices going forward. It's basically just going to be the standard OPM invoice according to the billing schedule. So I thought I would bring up about whether we want to continue having these meetings or whether we set up a different way to handle this, maybe assigning a point person on the city's end, maybe Gary. I know he's been involved in invoice approvals in the past. And so those invoices that are already a standard part of the contract could be sent in for final approval before they go to the city for payment. But, I figured that I'd open that up as a discussion to see how the committee wants to handle that.
I think it makes sense that we basically pass it on. I mean, there's no controversial things that the community needs to, participate in going forward that I can see. I mean, it's just paying the bills that we have agreed to pay.
Yeah, I can process those with the assistance of the city.
Yeah, and what I would suggest is, as I communicate with other people, maybe a follow-up with Grant or something with Ben, that maybe, Gary, I could keep you as a point person and then just copy you on all project-related communication. So that way, from the school department and the city side, there's one person that just has those emails so they know what's going on.
Yeah, that's fine with me. That works for Ben.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So, do we need to vote on that and approve it? You think that's
One last thing, will you obviously include like Diane in those emails too for the invoices, because she'll be processing those, right?
Yeah, we would send them to Gary. This is what we've done before, and then Gary will forward them to Diane with his approval.
Okay.
Right.
All right, you got that, Gary?
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Okay.
So I can carry forward.
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't get any response on whether we need to vote on that and dissolve this committee and sort of delegate the final duties of paying invoices to the school department and the city, which seems to make sense to me.
I think that makes sense to do that.
Yeah.
Have it on record.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much. How many meetings? You had the number on this, Mark. Was it like 69?
79.
79.
Okay.
Wow.
We've done our job.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Oh, wow. The whole time I didn't think you could hear me. So
Oh, yeah.
I just
Why? What
kept
were you
quiet.
saying?
I wasn't saying anything because I didn't think anyone could hear.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
we
have,
can
I have
hear.
a new computer. I have a new computer, and
Um,
it doesn't have Zoom on it, so it's we focus on Teams, so it's just
Yep.
been a headache to try to get access.
Well, we can see you and hear you.
Great.
So this is
Okay.
actually our 80th meeting.
This is
So
the
that's
80.
finishing
So-
off on a nice round number.
All right, nice round. There is one thing that we need to uh, deal with before we close out. And that is, I think, and Kathy's mentioned this and Ben, is we need to put out a press release, sort of, I mean, the good news will be about the money, but we also ought to talk about the LEED certification, the gold certification, that we should put out a sort of a comprehensive press release saying, you know, we're done. This is what you got. This is what you paid for. And this is what it does, you know, and I think that would be something that, you know, Kathy and I and Ben probably could sit down and put together, but I think the time is right.
Yep.
And we need to get some as accurate numbers as we can. And like I say, that we could do, I think we could expand on it just beyond the financial part.
Yeah. And Kathy, just, you know, there's a couple obvious places to report these final things to the school committee and then have press release as well, you know, at that same time, basically, you know. One would be building finance next Wednesday. The other would be the second August school committee meeting, which is the 28th, a week after that. I think either or. Brian, if you have any input on timing in terms of final numbers, if one's better than the other?
No, so the numbers are not going to be final on the job for a long time, just because of the closeout process. However, there's not going to be any surprises. So we know very close, you know, very roughly what those numbers will be.
Okay.
If
So
you use round numbers, like, you know, in the millions, as opposed to, you know, like
Yeah.
with your Excel spreadsheet with 3 digits.
Right, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
right.
We
We don't need-
can help
we don't-
you with those numbers.
Yep, sounds good.
Brian and I talked about it earlier.
yeah, I would say, you know, we use approximately and we round up the million number, and, you know, just explain that the final closeout audit process won't be completed for probably another year or so.
Yep.
You may not even need that part.
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
just
figure
stick with
it out.
deposit.
As long as you guys have the numbers, and then also I think it'd be helpful. I mean, Brian, you went through a lot of the, you know, parts and pieces that were completed this summer. So I think part of that update, you know, to the committee is, you know, this is some final work that's been done, you know, as we, you know, get to the, you know, to 12-month mark here. We're opening the school for its second year really successfully. Along with that close out of the work, this is where we are with the finances. The last, you know, change is a credit, and these are the numbers. I mean, something, Kathy, does that general approach?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think at the school committee is the level at which you've been reporting. So I think the second meeting will be, and then the press release will time nicely with the beginning of school.
Yep.
I think it can be phased together with the fact that the building committee is dissolving. And this is sort of our final report, and this is what we're handing to the school department in the city.
Yep. Great. Yeah, I think that's good. That's a good, you know, yeah, I think that, you know, building committee is finishing up its work. That's because we've, you know, done the final work on the school over the summer to complete the punch list, and, you know, I'll give a few highlights of the work, not all the detail. And that also means that, you know, we're at the end of the road here in terms of, you know, costs. The final invoices are being sorted out, and with that, we have this level of credit. You know, this is what the cost was. This is what we reimbursed, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and you could just follow up with me with, you know, like the blanks or whatever, and I can help you fill that in.
Perfect.
One of the things that we need to find out from the city side, and I have my opinion about this, but I think because we got an override and because the tax rate went up, and now we're borrowing somewhere around $8 million less, does the tax rate go down? Because that would be a huge piece of news for the community.
Stacy, how do we get that information?
That would be Connor in the treasurers.
You can't use the money for anything else, as far as I know.
Bad.
So we're just not borrowing the money. So therefore, the loan payments are less, so therefore, the tax rate, but I don't, the city's gotta tell us that. Not me.
Right. I can follow up with him.
It'd be good to know.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Also, I got an email about the lead certificates. We need more of those, or we're good? We don't need to order more or anything, right?
We're good
Yeah,
now,
we've
right?
decided in this meeting that the one plaque that they have now in the school is sufficient.
Okay, perfect.
If anyone needs an extra lead certificate or certificate, I've got one from West Parish in my office, which I really don't need.
I got one from West Parish too. It's sitting in the file cabinet.
Okay, so, were we going to vote on?
Yes, okay. Let's see, I'll make a motion that we dissolve the East Veterans School Building Committee as of this meeting, and turn over the payment, the responsibility of invoices to the city and the school department, and that we compile an abbreviated final report that we will present to the city and the school committee. That's right.
I've got that written, so I got that covered pretty well.
Okay.
Second, I second that motion.
All right. Any discussion?
Part of the discussion, I think, should be whether we should require Jonathan Pope to be at that meeting or not.
I'm available.
No, Jonathan, you do not need to be. Kathy is more than an able spokesperson for this group.
It's up to you. I'm not going anywhere. It's summer in Gloucester. You don't go anyplace. You go in the winter.
All right. I think we have a roll call vote, Brian.
Okay,
Okay.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kathy.
Frozen.
Kathy, is that a yes?
And she's frozen.
Frozen?
She looks like she's frozen.
Well, she's not moving.
Oh,
Disappeared.
anyway, we have more than enough. I'm pretty sure you vote yes.
Yes. Okay. Well,
I think we lost her.
so that's 4 in favor, 5 in favor, and 1
Present.
present, and it carries.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I've thoroughly enjoyed working with each and every one of you over, I don't know, it's been a number of years now, right? I think over 3 years. So time really flies, but it's been an absolute pleasure. This definitely has been a challenging job, but also a very enjoyable and very rewarding job. I believe we've ended up with a very beautiful school for the city of Gloucester, and it's been very exciting to see the kids in there learning new things, being excited, talking to the teachers, seeing how they're adapting to the new space. So we're very happy about it. We're proud of this project. I think we're going to be putting together some news articles just on our end and some of the work which we do on a lot of our projects. So I might be reaching out to some of you for some quotes. We're also looking to possibly submit this project for a CMMA award. So we've had a number of our projects in the past that have received awards, and I think this one would be a good candidate. So we'll probably be looking to submit for that as well. So I wanted to extend my thanks for being such a great committee to work with. And I hope that, maybe we can help you guys again on a future project.
let's hope there is another project. I want to go
So
on
I-
record to vote yes to the motion, Jonathan. My computer died.
Perfect, I got you covered. So again, I don't want to repeat everything that Brian said, but I have the same sentiments. And I've been involved in a fair number of school projects over the last 20 years, shared time with a wide variety of school building committees. And heads and shoulders, you guys have been the best and most responsive and vigilant, diligent building committee that I've worked with. You were focused, you were decisive, and I think in a large way, you set the vision and encouraged the team to deliver it. And I think we did. So that's a high note for my career. And just as a side note, I've decided after a lot of deliberation, I just turned 69 a couple of weeks ago. So as of the end of the month, I'll be retired.
Oh, wow.
So you guys are
Good for you.
I guess I'm not supposed to say guys, you all, which is kind of funny because I've recently moved to Florida as preparatory for my retirement. So I've been working a bit remote. But anyways, you've been the best, and it's been my privilege to work with each and every one of you.
Congratulations, Mark.
Congratulations.
Absolutely, Mark. That's great news for you. I really, Mark and Brian, I really appreciate when you guys came on as a team from, I'm not sure which CBR here at that time. You really settled things down and have been very consistent and persistent since then. And, you know, it's a complicated thing to build a school. It's a complicated process in terms of, you know, the project team, the 3-4 different organizations coming together. But as we said before, I don't know how it could have gone any better, even in regular times. And of course, it seems like regular times now, but it certainly wasn't regular times. And so really a lot of appreciation to you guys for, you know, really getting a hold of things and helping and doing work for the city and the schools in the way you have. So, and also tons of appreciation, you know, Gary, Grant, particularly Jonathan, you and Kathy, you know, the two of you have been here for a long, long time in this process. I came late to the game in the good parts, but really appreciate all the time and energy everyone's put in. You know, even folks, Stacy, you haven't been with us quite as long, but really appreciate your perspective and all that. So just it's been a lot of folks to put together what's a fantastic school. One last thing on the school quickly, just that we had all our elementary summer programs there this summer rather. And, you know, I've been at West Parish for a long time, and what a joy to have those kids in the building, utilizing it fully, you know, 11 months out of the year, essentially. And all the staff from a variety of schools who hadn't seen it yet were just wowed by it. And it was nice and cool in there too. But just really pleased with how it's come together and how it's serving our students, our staff, our families in the city.
Yeah, I will second everything Ben said. It's, you know, from the start of this, there's definitely early on, Jonathan can attest, was not exactly smooth getting to the decision of where it was going to be. But we knew we needed this new school for our kids, and we knew the deficiencies and the ones we were replacing. And, you know, who would have guessed we'd have the hiccup in the world that we did?
Yeah.
But we still have, you know, come through in really great shape. And the mere fact that it stayed on schedule, I mean, you know, the money is one thing, which is great that we were able to manage the money, but, you know, to deliver it on time, given all those challenges, is even more, you know, extraordinary. So thank you for your leadership. And, you know, I can't say enough about the team of Doran Whittier and W.T. Rich. It's been a really great experience and outcome.
So I would like to just say thank you to Mark and to Brian, because essentially way back at the beginning, the crew that Harry sent was not great. You guys, as Ben said, you guys came in and settled it down. And as Kathy said, the combination of you and W.T. Rich and Doran Whittier has produced a fabulous product for the citizens and the kids of Gloucester, and which will, you know, serve us for many, many years, and also be a goal for the next project. I know that I was talking to an architect friend of mine the other day, and he was saying, oh, you know, what a nice school the new school is, and they said, yeah, we made some mistakes at West Parish, but we figured them out as we on this one, and really this is the you know the cream of the all the work that we put in West Parish to try to you know, try to figure out how to put a school on a small lot and all of that. It's great. It's a wonderful school, and you guys should be very proud, and I'll be more than happy to you know, sing your praises whenever you need to say a song.
100%.
I just wanted to just take this opportunity to say what an awesome privilege it was to be a part of this, you know, this organization, to be part of this team, and to build this piece of, you know, infrastructure for the city. It is just inspiring to walk by that building every day and see that we built that. It's beautiful. And, you know, I got to be part of the West Parish sort of on the fringe, and to be a part of it now it's amazing. And having my team be a part of it was awesome. And I can't wait to work for the next project, and working with everyone was just a wonderful experience. So I look forward to the next one.
I guess that's it.
Thank you, everyone. I enjoyed being on this
Well-
committee too.
Thank you, Stacy.
My last Zoom for it. It's great.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, and we need a roll call vote.
So now that you can hear me, I guess I can take this, right?
Take your final roll.
So, Jonathan Pope,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Ben Lemus,
Yes.
and Stacy Capone.
Yes.
Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This meeting's adjourned, and thank you all again.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks.
See you around.
Bye.
Take care all.
Take care.
Take care
Bye.
all. Bye-bye.